Hello everyone and happy Friday. Before we share my analysis from these last few days, please remember that neither I nor the SIMETRI team from Crypto Briefing are licensed financial advisors. What we provide is not a personalised investment advice, it is merely our opinions based on our various research and diligence. As always, do your own research before making any decisions about buying or selling crypto.
In terms of the key level to watch for me, 46,000, and I'll go into that in more detail in a moment. But if we broke below 46,000, I think 44 and 42 very achievable. Monthly pivot point comes in around 42,000. Obviously, we're going to get a new monthly pivot point this week, and I'll keep you posted on that. The weekly pivot point, we were trading below there at 47.5, so that's something to watch out for. And I guess if we were to get back above that pivot and take out the 200-day moving average around 48.3, then maybe we can see Bitcoin moving towards 51,000, and maybe my maximum upside target would be 55, but I'd much rather see a drop from 48.3 or 51, to be honest with you, to try to get a much better entry into the market. Daily price closes below 45.3, and I don't really see a strong alternative except for more losses. So let's take a look at Bitcoin on the day time frame here, and we can see that the 200-day moving average is pretty much holding well at the moment. We're not seeing a big decline or any type of big movement away from it, but we haven't broke it. I think we often see asset classes when they first touch the 200-day moving average after being in an extended bear market or technical bear market for a while. We often see a correction and failure from here. If we can't get much lower than here, then it's very bullish. And I guess the other consideration that traders would have to make, if it did start to consolidate above the 200-day moving average, they then decide that the market is not going any lower. So hopefully we won't have to face that problem, and hopefully this area continues to hold over the next few days, and then we head lower. If we have a look at the trend line break that Bitcoin underwent last week and then started to go higher, or over the weekend rather, and then maybe we can get back to this area, which is just above 44,000. And I think that's probably the first place to look if you are looking to buy. Maybe a retest if we do see more failure from the 200-day moving average. So an idea that I'm looking at is maybe a 50% correction. So after Bitcoin showing its true colors, i.e. that it wants to rally, then we see a 50% correction from this high down to the last most reasonable swing low. But the trouble for me is that comes in pretty low at 41,000. So maybe what we might have to see is the market testing up towards 51,000 or nearabouts, and then we get the big correction in the market come down, and then the 50% correction from this type of area, and that candle area that I noted was untested last week, that comes in at around 42.5, and that's a great area. It's been a long-term area of support around 42, 42.6, somewhere beneath around that region. So that's another plausible thing that could happen. If we break past the 200-day, then we don't get the correction until maybe close to 51,000. And like I say, we're looking at a drop into that box. But if we do start to drop from now, I still would be interested to look at the 50% area and just see how it acts around there. Something I'm going to draw your attention to later on is this ascending triangle type pattern or wedge type pattern, and I think this is very interesting on a number of levels. I think primarily because it's a bearish pattern and it indicates a future price path for Bitcoin, and we're going to touch upon that more in the educational segment. But what we might see is Bitcoin just trading inside this pattern until we get a decisive move. It seems to stretch at the moment that we can move towards the bottom of the pattern, but it's certainly worth watching if we did get a big rejection. And again, I'm just going to show you where this candle is here. It's almost perfectly aligning with the top of this ascending wedge pattern. So maybe we do have to push up and test this area before we drop significantly, and maybe we have to drop towards the middle of there before anything happens in terms of a decent buying opportunity. So those are all the things I'm looking at Bitcoin at the moment. And like I say, it really depends on the trading action around here before I think we get any type of decent correction in the market. So overall, I think Bitcoin, it could be very dangerous for relatively bullish above 48.3, and there's I would say the potential that we could still see a rally towards 51,000, and obviously a few daily closes above the 200-day moving average, and that's very, very plausible. I would say that if we get a drop below 46,000, that could start to cause some selling pressure. Bear in mind the trouble that Bitcoin had around this area last week. So that would be my kind of key support area. I think there's a lot of evidence on the chart that 44,000 could be a good buying zone, but I don't really think that's my premium area. Much rather between 43 and 42,000, and then try to get back into this trend, because I do think there is a chance that we're going to head towards 55 eventually, and it'd be good to get positioned down there.
And thank you. I hope you found my thoughts helpful. If you'd like more, please click the subscribe button for Pro BTC Trader and join me every week on Wednesdays for our live trading war room and daily email updates.